The lions are now in stalk mode. They've spotted something up ahead. I've switched off. We've gone dark. I don't know what's up ahead. Apparently yours can see a steenbok up ahead of them. That'll be a very small meal for the lions. But they are absolute opportunists. Even if they could, a scrub hare they would catch. You can see their body language has changed a little bit now. Not as intent as it was a minute or so ago. Now remember, this is live from South Africa, and we are hunting with 4 lionesses. We're almost part of the pride. We've been with them so long. It's amazing how they can just melt into that. There she is, up to the left. Well, there's another one moving there. So one's laid down. Oh no, they're still stalking. They're still stalking. Look at that movement. Yours, there's one lioness still stalking something directly in front of you. Probably 20 meters from the cut line. Isn't this exciting? No, lions don't have the most successful hunting rate. They're probably about between 10 and 15% of everything they stalk or chase do they catch. So only about 1.5 times out of 10 will they actually catch something. Look, there we go. You can just see her melting behind that bush. Just see that movement there. It's incredible how lithe they're hunting something. We don't know what it is. Is that other lioness still sleeping? No, I think she's moved. Yeah, she's gone. Let's just check in front of us. Okay, we're going to move forward with our lights off. Eggsy, you're going to be my eyes. This is quite an experience. Driving, looking at a monitor. Okay, it looks okay. Ooh, this is quite scary. I'm just going to make sure. Just going to find a way through the... Oh, let's go around that one. Don't know what's underneath it. Isn't this quite exciting? About 60 or 70 meters from our northern boundary, and there we go, there's one. Oh no, she's just walking now. Let's show. I was going to call Jamie in, but let's just have a look, see if they cross the boundary first, because they are very close to the northern edge of our traverse area. Standing by. Yours has just said a lioness has taken off behind him, run down back towards the north, or to the... Oh, there we go. It sounds like they might have caught something. Hold on. Hold on, guys, isn't this exciting? Hey, we got one lioness here. Yours is saying, come. So, I don't know, we've got one lioness right next to us. Did the other lioness catch something small? Oh, they're running again. It's buffalo. They're onto a herd of buffalo. Look at that, isn't this amazing? Right next to us, they're chasing buffalo. Hold on, we're going to stick with them. Oh, they got him. Go white light, Eggsy, white light, if you can. Can you switch to normal light? Yeah, go to normal. Isn't this incredible? I know this is difficult for some people to watch, but this is absolutely amazing. The incredible Nkahuma's do it again. Well, it's not all over yet. So I haven't switched the car off in case the buffalo comes in this direction. Okay. I know that's a terrible sound. But this is Africa. This is nature. This is live. I'm shaking with excitement. So what they're trying to do, you see how they're going for his haunches in the soft spot at the back of his legs, when they're trying to get him down on the ground. Once he's on the ground, a lot of the battle has been won. Now you see, the other way they bring down, once that buffalo's on the ground, they're going to try to go for its throat or its nose. Look at that, that lioness has been on top the whole time. She's just not letting go. You can see how she's chewing in there. Every little bit of loss of blood and all that will help bring him down. Just see where he goes. Now you've always got to be careful in these situations that you don't put the vehicle in the wrong place. And you can see, ooh, we nearly got that lioness. But you see what she's doing? She's keeping him distracted while the others work on the back. Look, look, see how she's trying to pull his back leg out to get him on the ground. Oh, she's fallen off. Oh, now she's back on. Isn't that amazing? Look at that agility. Look how she's opened up that wound, and that blood, as that blood seeps, it's going to weaken him slowly but surely. Now, I know this is sensitive, guys. If you're not comfortable with this type of stuff, please rather don't watch. This is live, and this is nature. He's putting up a proper fight. And you can see how the lions avoid those rapier-like horns of the buffalo. This is a battle that's being played out in the African bush for the last 200,000 or so years that lions and buffalo have coexisted. Look at she's going for that Achilles tendon. Look, isn't that incredible? She's trying to weaken him, get him down onto the ground. Oh, he nearly fell there. Look at that, isn't that amazing? Look at that agility. She fell off and she was back on there in a split second. Now it's going to be interesting to see which lioness, once they get him down, goes for the throat. Just in case he decides to charge this way, we're going to move back a bit. Sometimes it can take as long as an hour and a half for them to get a buffalo completely dead. You can still see he's got quite a lot of fight left in him. Look at that, you can see how, just have a look. You can see how the blood's starting to flow more freely, and that will weaken him slowly. Now remember guys, as hard as this is, the lions have to eat. They've got those 8 cubs to feed. See how that lioness keeps trying. They keep trying to get to the front. They keep trying to grab him by the nose or by the throat, but there's still far too much fight in him yet, and they don't want to risk a serious injury at those horns. That. Look how he just walks with those lions on top of him. He still hasn't given up yet. Oh dear, my earpiece has come out. Just give me a second. There we go, it's back in. Now Jamie's also arrived. Let's get in a bit closer. They're right at the edge of the light there. Okay, I'm just going to move around, get on the right side of him. Where's my... Oh, he's walking with all those lions on his back. He's just disappeared behind a termite. Okay, let's go to Jamie. She's got a better view.
We've just arrived on the scene, and oh my goodness, what a scene to be greeted with. The Nkuhumas on top of the buffalo, and this is not at all easy for us to watch. It's always incredibly difficult. Sorry, yours. Okay, we're going to reposition in a moment to get a better view. Sorry, yours. Thank you. Awesome, thank you. Oh, this is unbelievable. This is so raw. To watch something like this, the Nkuhuma is proving once again what a phenomenal force they are. A serious force to be reckoned with. Let's go over to Brent, who's got a slightly better view.
They nearly got him down there. Oh, look at that hook. He nearly got that lioness. Oh, we're going to get out of here. See, they're still trying to get onto that front side of him. Look at that. Isn't this just absolutely amazing? Now, a buffalo bull like that can weigh 1,500 pounds. Each lioness probably only weighs around 300 pounds. See, they're going for those Achilles tendons. They're desperately trying to get this buffalo down. Once he's on the ground, it's going to be much easier for them to get in and around that mouth safely. Now, the Nkuhumas are incredible buffalo hunters. Sorry, Eggsy. I'm rather a stick than a buffalo. See how he's trying to hook, and that's one of the reasons the lions go for that exact spot when they jump onto the back of the buffalo, just behind the shoulder blades. You see there, it's just out of reach of where he can hook back with his head. And he's almost got his tail completely off. Still hasn't given up. I know this can be very difficult to watch, guys, but this is the lion's meal. It's the survival for those 8 Nkuhuma cubs. It's a big buffalo bull like this. It's a lot of meat for that family. You can actually hear her crunching in. She's reached the bone, the vertebra in his back. That lioness on the back. You can actually hear her chewing on the bones. Oh, see that? Those lioness are waiting for a half gap. If they can get onto the nose, it's a very common tactic that lions use on big animals like buffalo. If they can get onto the nose, what they do is they bite into that nose, and then what happens is it actually starts to slowly drown on its own blood. Okay, so I know you're still listening to me, but you're looking from Jamie. Isn't this incredible? Look at that. Now, I'd say the buffalo's chances of escaping become less and less with every second. There we go, you can hear the bone crunch. Standing by. No, yours, please keep it. It's a nice light. Thanks very much. Oh, there, he's nearly down. He's nearly down. He nearly fell down. Oh, there we go. Have they got him? They've got him down. Now, who's going to be the brave lioness who goes for the throat or the nose, gets near those horns? Look, there we go. She's got, oh no, she didn't quite get there. There we go. Look, she's going there. I wonder who that is. She's going for the throat. She's got safely under the horns. Now she's going to go for that nose grip. Now, as we get that nose grip, she bursts the veins, she digs into the nose, and that buffalo will slowly drown. But it's still dangerous. Those horns are still there. But when the buffalo's down, the lions they've won. Now, I know this is difficult. That buffalo is not dead, and the other lions are starting to feed already. That is not unusual behavior. I know you're looking, Jamie. I'm just going to try and get around to the other side of the kill. Oh, no, we're going to sit there. We're going to sit there. Look at that. Okay, let's go. What do you think, Xander? Let's go around to the other side. We're just going to get ourselves in the right spot. How's that, Xander? Cool. There we go. I'm just going to try and get the spotlight in a spot where it doesn't move. This sounds terrible, but this is nature. This is survival for the Inca Bombers. See, the faster they get on to that nose, the quicker this ends. It's nearly over now. Perfect, Jaws. There's almost gurgling in them now. And that's because of the blood. Now, you can hear that breathing. You can hear that starting to gurgle. This does take quite a lot of effort. And you can see actually how strong a lioness is there. She's getting kicked in the face. But that's not stopping her. You can hear that breathing. This is hard to watch, everyone. Now, this is one of the joys of being out after dark, being able to see the big cats hunt. You can hear the blood starting to gurgle out of that buffalo's nose. Starting to struggle. He's definitely getting much weaker now. Incredible Inkahumas, buffalo hunters, extraordinaire. And you can see now some of the lioness, or the single lioness at the back, she's resting. Now, it would have taken a massive amount of effort for these lions to bring down. Or could there be a male coming? Now, there were tracks of a male around earlier. Where's she off to? There could definitely be a male on the way. Now, any self-respecting male lion within 10 kilometers of here would have heard that. And a male lion's not going to pass up a free meal. Where she went? Or she could go back and fetch the cubs. That could be where she's off to. Still fighting away to suffocate that buffalo. of course, there's no standard sort of ranking or hierarchy amongst a lioness, and Romy's wondering who gets to jump on, who gets to grab the dangerous end. Is it the same lioness every time, or does it vary? Well, Romy, I actually saw 3 different lionesses on top of this buffalo today, and I've seen different lionesses go for that kill grip on buffalo. So I just think whoever happens to be in the right position, or maybe the lioness that put the least effort into the actual bringing down of the buffalo. As you can see, that lioness is really tired, and she was up on top, probably one of the lionesses that were on top for quite a while, and that takes incredible physical strength to hold on to that bucking buffalo. I mean, and I think probably the lioness that's in the best position and probably the least exerted from the rest of the hunt will grab that all-important nose or throat hold. Now, with lionesses, you don't see the throat hold as often as the nose hold on big buffalo bulls, as their jaws might not be big enough to clamp close to the larynx. But male lions will use that throat hold even on a big buffalo. And again, I do apologize to our sensitive viewers. I know this is difficult to watch, but this is live, and we are here to observe nature in all its facets. So this is part of nature, a crucial part of nature, and not something people get to see very often. So this is absolutely incredible. We are live with the incredible Nkahuma pride. Brought down a massive buffalo bull. He's not quite dead yet, but he's getting closer. You can hear him struggling to breathe more and more. So what's happening is his lungs are slowly filling with blood. So what actually happens now is he'll actually drown. You can see kicking's becoming weaker and weaker. Now she'll only let go once he's dead. So those claws are fully extended, gripped into that neck, and she's got a vice-like clamp with her jaws around his nostrils. Again, not for sensitive viewers, but one must remember this is the future of the Nkahuma cubs. The fact that their mothers are able to hunt so successfully and hunt big prey successfully. see the others starting to feed before that buffalo has expired. Now, Liz is wondering, will they eat before they go fetch the cubs? Well, one lioness has already beetled off back towards the cubs, so she might actually go fetch the cubs before feeding. So, difficult to say. It all depends on the situation. So, they were hungry, but they weren't too hungry. So, she might go fetch the cubs before feeding. Now, shame, he's nearly gone. He's nearly gone to join the great buffalo herd in the sky. Now, Sheila said the lioness is trying to suffocate with a nose hold, but the buffalo's breathing through its mouth. Will she actually succeed in suffocating it with that nose hold? So Sheila, what she's actually doing is, if she is on that nose hold, as she keeps biting in that, nasal cavities back into that buffalo's lungs. So what's actually happening, she's not suffocating the buffalo, she's drowning it. So there we go, you can see the blood around her mouth, and you can hear that buffalo breathing. So the more she bites into that nose, and the more blood that starts flowing down the nasal cavity back into the lungs is what's going to kill that buffalo. You can actually hear how it's breathing now. It's starting to almost gurgle. See, those leg kicks are getting weaker and weaker. I don't think it's going to be too long now. Under. Oh, look at that. She's just changing her grip. See how she's biting like that again? It's to get that bleeding going, to get more blood going down into those nostrils. Now that, coupled with the massive loss of blood this buffalo is suffering from its behind, and the two other lionesses have really opened up his rump. Actually, almost look like they're almost, there we go, you can see that into his stomach cavity already. So that, yeah, there you go, his intestines are coming out already. So that massive trauma and loss of blood at the base, coupled with that, not suffocation, that drown grip of the lioness in the front. You probably find this buffalo's been in shock for some time, and I hope not feeling anything. So D is wondering, why are the lionesses using that nose hold as opposed to the more traditional throat grip, the suffocation grip. Now, with a big buffalo bull like this, you'll probably find his larynx is too wide. So when lions grab something around the neck, there's a gap between their teeth. So they've got their canines, which act as an anchor, and then their premolars and their molars. Now, between those two, there's a big gap, and that gap is actually specially designed to pinch close the larynx of animals. Now, with the lioness, you'll probably find that this big buffalo bull, his larynx is too big for her to actually get that grip going, so she's unable to get or pinch the larynx closed. So that is why you'll often see lioness prefer the nose hold on buffalo as opposed to the throat hold, the more traditional, what we see with lions and smaller prey. Now, as you can see, her paw there below the mouth, it almost looks like she's holding its mouth closed, but it's not. She's just using that as an anchor. You can see the mouth still open. See how every now and then she gives a little shake or bite. It's to increase that blood flow into the lungs. Now, I'm not sure what time this started. Do you know, Xander? No idea. The excitement took over. But I missed that. How long was that? It's been 40 minutes since they started jumping on this buffalo. Now, it's probably been a bit shorter because of the drought, but I have seen it take nearly 2 hours to kill a big buffalo bull, and that was with a bigger pride of lions in the Nkuhumas. But that buffalo was in prime condition. So these buffalo bulls, I could only see bulls. I didn't see any other buffalo as they charged past us. And these bulls are old, past prime, and this drought would have definitely had an effect on them. And it does make them an easier target. By no means an easy target. And here the breathing getting much shallower. And you can hear that. See, she's putting extra force on. She's biting harder now. I don't think it's long now. You can see those. Yeah. Breathing getting much shallower. The leg kicks now are almost non-existent. She's only going to let go when that buffalo finally expires. Their leg kick's very, very weak now. Oh, not quite. I don't think it's long to go now before this. It's the end of this poor big boy. You can see she almost senses it's close to the end. Now, as I said, it's an old buffalo bull. Wingnut's wondering how old. I'd guess probably between 12 and 14 years old. So past his prime. At about 10, 11, they're pushed out of the big breeding herds, and they live in these bachelor groups. And these Nkuhumas have been specializing in these bachelor groups of buffalo this dry season. Now that is actually stomach content on her shoulder there that sprayed out of the intestines as they pulled them out. There we go, you can see that on her neck there. It's not blood, it's buffalo stomach content that sprayed out as the other lioness pulled out their intestines. There's a very good chance there'll be a male lion here by tomorrow. If there are any in the vicinity, they definitely would have heard that buffalo's distress calls. Now, Meg's wondering, can another lioness take over the nose grip? It is possible, Meg, but unlikely in this situation where the buffalo's down. You can hear now the breathing's getting very, very difficult. Starting to become sometimes some big gaps between the breaths. Hi, William in Oregon. William would like to know, why do they always seem to start eating it from the rear end? Well, with buffalo, it's the safe end because they'll start feeding or actually opening up that area to try and weaken it during the hunt. And secondly, it's the rump, the nice tender, lots of meat there. So you'll find a lot of animals, especially cats, will start eating at the rear end, at the rump, because in case they lose it to another lion or hyenas or whatnot, they get the most amount of meat in the shortest part of time without having to chew through any bones. Now, is that other lioness going in to help, or is she just going to start feeding? Looks like the other lioness has come to expedite these proceedings. There you go, you can see there's that stomach content, on that lioness's neck. Again, apologies to our sensitive viewers. It's nearly over. Even if she had to let go of that nose hold now, there's no way this poor boy would survive. She has not relinquished that grip on his nose since she got there, and she won't till he takes his last breath. Now that crunch, crunch you hear is that lioness at the tail cutting open the skin. See how she's sliced the skin open there. You can actually see it's almost like someone's taken a pair of scissors and cut a perfectly straight line. Now her premolars, or what she's using to cut open to get to the skin to get to the meat, are literally like a really sharp pair of side cutters. Now again, apologies to our sensitive viewers. This is live, this is raw, this is uncut, this is happening right now in the African bush. And if you are a little bit sensitive, just look away. It'll be over in about 10 or so minutes. The buffalo should be dead. And I know it is disturbing, but one must remember, this is the future for these lions. They've got 8 little cubs to feed. So a big buffalo bull like this is a great catch for the evening. As he stopped breathing. No, he's still kicking. I can't be far now. Just trying to watch carefully to see when he stops breathing. Now sometimes you will have leg kicking after the animal is dead. It's just their nerves. The heart will still be pumping. See, those look almost more like those nerve reactions, not coordinated. Yeah, I think he's expired. Let's have a look at his stomach, see if it still looks like it's breathing. Okay, just move a little bit higher up onto there we go, onto that part of the stomach. I just want to have a look. He's almost stopped breathing, but he's still alive. He's gasping. There we go, she's let him go. It's done. Here we go. Now she's going to lie down and have a well-earned rest before she even thinks about starting to feed. And here we go. Two lionesses resting. The third eating. I wonder where the fifth Nkahuma is. Well, the fourth one, I think, might have gone back to fetch the cubs. Now, all that sniffing around earlier might have been after these buffalo. Wouldn't it be nice if we could speak lion? What I find incredible with lions is the non-verbal communication. So how they read each other's body language. Oh, there comes the small intestine. So it's incredible that they're able to sort of maneuver and flank, all depending on the movement and body language of the other animals. And I think that's probably one of the most fascinating things for me about lions, is that non-verbal, or that non-vocal, sorry, not verbal, they can't speak, but that non-vocal communication. So of course lions have their vocal communications, their roars, their contact calls, but in the hunt they can't, because it'll give away their position. So once they get that buffalo open, generally they'll try get for the sort of high value items, heart, kidney, lung, livers, high in vitamins and minerals, particularly the liver, high iron content. But as you can see, they're not fussy. Those are the intestines, and that is stomach content coming out as she pulls through. She obviously doesn't eat that sort of half-digested grass. What she's really after there is the actual lining of the intestine. Now she doesn't want to eat, but now, just because there's another lioness there, will growl at you. I think she's going to lie down for a bit more. Or she might head back. It is one of the mothers. She might head off to go fetch cubs. Or she might head off down towards Buffalo's Hook for a drink. There you go, she's walking straight towards Jamie. No, she's changing her direction. And maybe she's heading back towards the cubs, who knows? So I know you guys can still see that lioness with Jamie. I can't see her at all now. So there we go, we're with the two remaining lionesses. I wonder if she's going to go fetch those cubs. I think she's going to go for a drink at Buffalo's Hook first. Now the fact that there's almost zero fighting around this carcass means that these lions have been incredibly well fed over the last while, and the drought has definitely been aiding them. So normally in a situation like this, if these lions had been desperately hungry, there would be much growling, snarling, and beating of each other as they took down the buffalo and started feeding. Well, it seems like everyone's off. I'm sure one lioness will stay. The next one's off down the road. I can't see it. That is another one of the mothers that's moved away. There she goes. So 4 lionesses. Maybe it's only Amber Eyes left behind. And the 3 mothers have gone off to fetch the cubs. Let's have a look at it. Yeah, that doesn't look like a lactating lioness. So that means the missing lioness is the youngest female. Maybe she's off entertaining a Birmingham boy. So the last time, or not the last time, the time before last year, when we saw the Nkahumas grab a buffalo, it was Amber Eyes who was on the nose. This time it wasn't, so there we go, that also answers that question. It's not always the same lion and the same spot. Isn't this amazing? We're sitting here in the middle of the African bush live. And remember, if you have any questions about what just happened, about what's going on, remember to send them through to us at questions@wildearth.tv or use the hashtag SafariLIVE on Twitter. it's incredible. It's just sort of the excitement's down, the buffalo's down. Sort of take a moment. I tend to get very excited over a butterfly. So imagine how excited I get when we get to see incredible behavior like that. And of course, a lot of people get worried and think we're all after the death and the blood and the guts and the gore. It's not that. And so we get to see this incredible animal behavior that so few people in the world ever get to witness. And just guess what? We just witnessed it live. Now Dee is wondering if a male lion came along, would this female leave? Well, not necessarily leave Dee, but she would probably have to leave her spot at the kill for him. He might chase off, and they can be quite selfish, only liking to feed by themselves. As I said, it'll be incredibly unlikely that there won't be a male lion tomorrow. I think it's very likely there will be a male. Now, those big boys, they hear that buffalo go boo, and they come a-jogging. So it took probably just under 50, or just under an hour for this buffalo to die, which is about normal 40 minutes to an hour. Now, I'm sure a few of you are wondering where the hyenas are. Now, at the moment, our hyena clan has moved a bit further to the northwest, so we're not seeing them too much, but for hyenas to steal this kill from lions, you can work on an average of 3 hyenas to 1 lion. So there would have to be, if all 5 lionesses were present, there'd have to be 15 hyenas for them to sort of mob the Nkahuma pride off this carcass. Now, if you add a male into the equation, the hyenas will stay away. It's very, very seldom and that there are hyenas brave enough to take on a male lion. He's just that much stronger and that much more powerful than the females. Oh, what a first drive back. Kitty cat luck seems to be with me still. Now, from the incredible Nkahumas, across to James with the Kichwa Tembo pride, I think. Let's see what they're up to.
Well, that, everybody, is just astounding. While we sit here with the sleeping lions, well, one clean itself. Who would have thought it? Well, I suppose everybody who loves the ninkapumas. They have pulled it out of the bag and killed a buffalo here exactly as we wanted them to. Lion kills at night. How fantastic they have been. This bunch has been doing not a great deal. Since I last saw you, obviously we were stuck. That is not an uncommon occurrence for me. And what happened was, we're going straight back to South Africa. There's even more action going on. They've got cubs running into the kill.
Look who's arrived. Hello, little ones. Our cubs are on their way. And in a way, whilst it doesn't make everything better, what we've just witnessed, it certainly makes us feel a little bit more comfortable about what we've just witnessed, as 8 hungry mouths are about to be fed. yes, Dave, I think there's one on the right as well. I mean, on the left. Well, there was. I could just hear it in the darkness. Okay. I think that's everyone. I'm just going to wait until they've gone a little bit further behind me, and then I'm going to turn our vehicle around and we'll catch up with them. Wow, what an intense night this has been. Hoping there's nobody here. Hello. Gonna go move very, very slowly, and I'm just going to check behind me. And then Dave's going to provide me with that infrared light, and it'll take us to the cubs. Alright, Dave, I'm in your hands now. I'm driving blind. There they go, over the ridge. I'm just going to make very, very sure that there's not one on the other side of us. I can see them up ahead. I'm not going very fast, and I'm not racing to catch up with them because I don't want to risk. I can only see a couple of meters in front of me. So we're going really, really slowly. As the cubs make their way to a meal that the females worked incredibly, incredibly hard to get for them. Whoopsie, I think the road's a little bit to the left there. That's so amazing, the silhouettes of the lions in front of me. I don't know if we're going to be able to capture it. But there they all go. Little cubs. Isn't that incredible? With their amazing mothers. Calling, frolicking, playing, chasing each other around. In the highest spirits, the females just exhausted after that trial that they were put through. And the cubs bounding in anticipation of some very, very full bellies. Pouncing on each other. And although it's very, very hard to watch an animal die like that, remembering that there are hungry little mouths to feed is definitely a comfort. Look at you, you little scamps. Are you too gorgeous for words? The poor lionesses, they're so exhausted, and all the little ones want to do is play with them. It just goes to show that lioness that left earlier on in the hunt went straight to fetch the cubs as soon as she knew that that buffalo was going down. And those two lionesses went off to fetch them. Just little silhouettes in green. Amazing. Well done, Nkuhumas. Sorry, Mr. Buffalo. Alright, let's jump on board with Brent as they make their way over in his direction.
Here we go, the first of the cubs have arrived at the buffalo kill. Here they come. Now, let's see, the first one, who's going to be the first one to rush towards the carcass? Get ready for some of the fiercest little sounds you've heard in a while. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Ooh, 8. Now, as they get bigger, Auntie Amber is not going to be as tolerant as she once was. Just checking it's not live, Ma. Making sure you did your job. all scuttling about. Happy cubbies. Now they seem so well fed, they're more interested in playing than eating. Perfect, thanks yours. So there we go, as you can see, we are sitting absolutely in the pitch black. I cannot see a thing, and I'm looking at my monitor. What has that cub got at the back there? Is that my hat? No, I'm joking, it's not my hat. It's the tail, yes. I could have lost my hat, but he's stolen the tail. It's having a great game with it. Isn't this incredible? This infrared enables us to view cubs at night. Normally, no spotlights on cubs until they're about between 6 and 8 months old. But with infrared, we remove. Look at him. Looks very impressed with himself. Cheers, yours. Have a good evening. Yeah, thanks. It was awesome to have you here as well. Second time. So just saying goodbye to yours. That's the second time yours and I have seen the Nkuhumas together take down the buffalo. And he's got over the ear. Ooh, there we go. A little bit of growling starting. Now Michael's wondering, are male cubs slightly more aggressive than females, especially around food? Well, generally they can be, just because they're a bit bigger. And in lion society, quite often size goes a very long way. Now wait, there's going to be, let's see how long it takes them before they get upset with each other and they can't share. As I said, they're so full, they're not really that worried about eating. The ears flat. No serious growling at each other just yet. Adult females moving back in. Hi, Jerry. Jerry's wondering how long it'll take for them to eat that entire carcass. Big bull like this, Jerry, and they're not too hungry, probably 2 to 3 days. Now it all depends if a male arrives, then of course the carcass won't last nearly as long. Oh, excuse me. I was expecting a lot more growling, snarling between the little guys. And they're obviously so fat on mom's milk. And all the buffalo that they've been caught over the last little while. And it's more fun and games than feeding. Who's the king of the buffalo? Yeah, more playing than actually eating going on here. It's practicing the throat grip on the buffalo's armpit. There's a little bit of growling, but not much. We can hear frogs and a fiery-necked nightjar in the background. And of course we have an incredibly ecstatic Nkahuma pride. If you've just happened to stumble upon us, this is live infrared viewing of lion pride on a kill. And can you believe we watched them take down this buffalo live? You were watching with me at the exact same time. Isn't that incredible? We're able to bring you the immense and amazing animals from Africa live wherever you might be in the world. Remember, hashtag SafariLive or questions@wildearth.tv if you'd like to send us any questions. Now, Doug in Connecticut's wondering, will the cubs be able to break through that tough buffalo hide with their still young milk teeth? Probably not. Maybe in some of the softer spots on the belly, but generally they will go, like those ones there, to where the lionesses have already opened up the carcass. My head in there. I can just sneak a head in there. I said they're not particularly hungry, otherwise there'd be a lot more snarling, growling, and swatting. That little one, he's practicing catching buffalo up front. Not interested in eating. Oh no, he's caught and killed. He's happy. Yes, you big brave thing, you. So we're going to sit here with the Nkahumas, but let's go see what's happening in the Mara Triangle with James.
Hello everybody, sorry about the very quick link last time. Well, I'm not actually sorry at all. You got to go and watch the little Nkahuma cubs arriving at their kill, and well deserved it is for them indeed. Our cats, as you can see from the thermal imaging camera, are, well, very tired. But just behind them, a herd of what Graham Wallington calls bogies. The bogies have the wind blowing sort of from the lions to them, we think. We can't really tell. It seems to be swirling slightly. But that is the potential hunt that might happen here if these lions can bring themselves to just wake up and do something other than nothing. There we are. 2 sleeping on the left, 1 under a termite mound on the right. The other one lurking about here somewhere. Now, we think this is 4 lionesses. We're going to vaguely conclude that they might be from something called the Out of Africa Pride. It's been very difficult to figure out what's going on, because every time we thought we'd figured out what was happening, 2 more lionesses would appear. I'm assuming that we're not very far from where that zebra died, so I'm assuming 2 of these are perhaps the 2 that were at the zebra earlier. Then 2 more appeared as we got stuck. And then, of course, I didn't want to get my boots dirty, so we sent Graham and Tyler and Jandre and William out to push the car out, and they did that very successfully. We then followed these lions, and they went to sleep, which is what they have done quite frequently here. I'm beginning to think that A, they do quite a lot of killing during the daytime, and B, well, I mean, they hardly look like they're desperately hungry. So they do quite a lot of feeding during this time of the year and quite a lot of hunting during the day. But the Kitchwatembo Pride, who knows what they're doing tonight, who knows what the males are doing. We took a gamble on this bunch and, well, hasn't quite paid off like the Nkuhumas have. But, you know, if you've got vehicles traversing the entire continent of Africa, as we have at the moment, you're going to find at least 1 pride of lions intent on finding themselves some supper. If that pride of lions happens to have 8 little cubs to feed, well, then they're probably even more likely to go hunting than they would be in this rather prey-rich environment. Let's have one last look at the no, sorry. Graham, can we have one last look at the fleur? Thank you very much. Let's see where the other are. There, we're back on that herd of potential bogies who are just twinkling very pleasantly off towards the east. Hello, Lisa. A very good question from you. You want to know how much time or how often I think these various prides in the Mara cross paths. Lisa, you know, I mean, I simply haven't been here long enough to say, but I do think from what we've learnt over the brief time we've been here, that there is so much upheaval when the migration comes through, so much kind of unusual behavior when the migration comes through, that I would imagine it's quite difficult to predict. Because certainly the Kitchwatembo Pride, I thought we've seen them as far. Have we seen them this far? Yes, we have. Well, we haven't seen them quite this far south, but I think they have been seen certainly this far south, and it would make their territories pretty small if they never came across each other. So I think it's rather fascinating. I don't want to put my head on a block, as it were, and try and guess what's going on here. But yes, they certainly could. They certainly could come across each other. But they do call a lot. You know, if you sit on top where we're staying at Ngama, you sit on the deck in the evenings, there's calling from all over this place. So maybe their territories shrink during this time of the year. It could happen with very sort of prey-rich areas. That could definitely be the case. And then maybe they get a little bit bigger and spread out from each other when the wildebeest and zebra and eland and Thompson's go wandering down south into the Serengeti. But I've got to tell you, it'd be wonderful to spend a year here and figure out exactly what is going on. And of course the only way you can do that is to spend an extended period with these animals. That one is alive. You can see there it's breathing. Aqua, a nice question from you about whether or not these prides have smaller or larger territories than the ones in the Sabi Sand. From what I've seen here, I'm going to say they're slightly smaller. That would make perfect sense given the prey density here. The prey density here is, I would say, probably quite a lot higher than it is in the Sabi Sand. At the moment, of course, we're in the middle of a drought in the Sabi Sand. It was just kind of broken, and so things are A, weak, and B, coming out of the Kruger into the Sabi Sand because there's pumped artificial water, and so you know, it's probably relative. No, it's still not equitable, even at this stage. So I'm going to say I think it would make sense that the prides here would have smaller territories. The Nkuhuma pride's territory is probably about 5,000 hectares, which is just over 10,000 acres. And I would have said the prides here, from what, I mean, this is based on combined experience of about 8 days here. I would say that the pride territories here are probably, and this is a wild guess, but about maybe 3,000 or 4,000 hectares each. So between, say, 9,000 and 11,000 acres. Now, whether that situation persists when the migration moves away, I don't know. You see, I mean, in the Sabi Sand, the prey situation is relatively stable throughout the year. Same number of impala and nyala and kudu and buffalo and giraffe and other wonderful creatures that we get there. And then over here, of course, the situation does change. But the game is still thick on the ground during the rest of the year when the migration isn't here. There's topi. There are, I think, probably some resident eland, probably some resident wildebeest and zebra. Plenty of buffalo still around, lots of giraffe, masses of warthog. There are impala here. And so I think still there's a lot to eat here. But maybe with the reduction in prey numbers, the lions spread out a bit. It would be fascinating to find out, I must say. And I've tried to read up on all of this stuff before we got here, and there's precious little. And I don't think that's necessarily indolence on the part of the researchers. I think it's just simply that it's actually quite difficult to figure out what on earth is going on here. And I think only an extended period with the same lions could truly figure out what was happening. Then, of course, I mean, while I'm waffling on like this, there is the small matter of a pride takeover here. New males coming into the area, a couple of nomads coming up with the migration. Apparently, Scarface brought 2 females created almost the Kichwatemba pride by bringing some females across with him from the Marsh pride. So, I think things are also in a state of flux here at the moment. And maybe in a couple of months' time they'd have settled down. A bit like these lions, which have settled down profoundly. Right, we've had some amazing action today, but the link I've just been asked for in the context of what we've had today has just blown my mind. We're going to go across to Jamie, who's got a spider on her dashboard.
The joys of live wildlife filming, particularly in summer, means that we acquire a whole host of passengers, including this spider that just emerged on my dashboard out of nowhere and went scuttling across and has now settled in the corner. I don't know what it is. My first instinct was that it was a wolf spider. It's definitely an active hunter. You can see that in the structure of its body and its legs and the speed with which it runs. I'm going to say one of the wolf spiders. Isn't it absolutely incredible? We can even see the hairs on its legs in this light, something that perhaps we might miss during a daytime sighting. What do you think, Mr. Spider? Or Mrs. Spider, sorry. I don't mean to be gender non-specific at the moment. I think you've come to the right place if you're looking for food, because we have a whole host of insects bobbing about our vehicle, attracted to the light, dashing about the dashboard. I think that the spider might just have it's a good place to be. I think we might have collected it on our way with our antenna whilst we were driving off-road. I think we might have gathered it up in its web, or perhaps on a strand of its web, and it might have come along for the ride, whether it wanted to or not. And of course I have absolutely no idea where it came from, so I don't know how to put it back or where to put it back. But I'm quite content to have it around. It's an important lesson for us all. Please don't kill spiders. Even the ones that are meant to be venomous, well, they are venomous. They are incredibly valuable and a very, very valuable part of our ecosystem. And those of you with mosquitoes or other little insects that you don't enjoy, your spiders in your house will help to collect them and gather them up and eat them, and therefore help you to control the population. And we don't kill spiders. One thing I was always taught growing up We don't kill spiders. If we have to, we catch them in a glass and we throw them outside. This little spider can stay as long as it wants. I really don't mind. Not one of the venomous kinds. There's only really the recluse spiders or the brown widows or black widows, crab spiders. I've forgotten what I'm talking about. Oh, sac spiders, violent spiders. Those are the majorly venomous spiders that we get out here. This is not one of those. It's just a harmless... Oh, spider. One insect had a very lucky escape there. Flew right into our spider. Awesome. Just to give you a sense of scale, I think if I put my hand next to it, I can't seem to do it without... I think it's going to run away. That's how big the spider is. Just to give you a sense of scale, and that's about as far as my arm will reach. That's me done, or I'm going to fall into the vehicle itself, trying to spotlight and reach for the spider. That will give you a sense of just how large this particular spider is. Quite a big one. Cool. Great. Thanks, Dave. It was quite an uncomfortable pose I'd struck there. You can even, if you look really closely, you can even see its eyes, compound eyes, sitting on the top or close to its head. Not close to its head, they're part of its head. That sentence didn't make any sense. And try and spot... Oh, bye. Oh. Ah, that's a good spot for you. Deep beneath the crack between the dashboard cover and the dashboard. I don't think you'll see it either. I think it's just below where you can see. Oh well, that's a good spot as any, I suppose. Oh look, there's another something. There's another bug. The car is full of interesting surprises. Perhaps we don't want to look too closely at all of the different passengers we've acquired. The moths are all fluttering into my spotlight. No, that's not our spider, that's a buddy, another little beetle. Okay, and then we've got a host of moths sitting on the buttons. Oh, now they're fluttering about. Oh dear. They were all sitting very nicely collected on my light buttons. And we've got, have I got a fruit chafer somewhere? No, the fruit chafers are all gone. I think I got rid of most of them while they were all flying into my face during the lion sighting. And moths everywhere. I think we're going to keep moving before we attract every single bug on Juma to our stationary lit up vehicle. Might be worth going on a trundling mission. So, after the excitement of that evening, I'm keen to top it off with something like a pangolin or an aardvark. What do you say, Dave? Aardvark, you say. I say aardvark too. I feel like that's the only way that we're going to top the events of the last 2 hours. So that is what we shall do. But of course, this place has a whole host of interesting creatures for us to find at night. Perhaps we'll be treated to another white-tailed mongoose sighting that went on forever the other evening. Longest white-tailed mongoose sighting I've ever had. But I'm feeling an aardvark. It is just... We set off with a good feeling this afternoon, and it's proved to be well-founded. And there's always the possibility of bumping into Tingana again. I'm on my way past where we lost him. Hopefully he's decided to pop out at some point while we were with those lions. And by the way, a round of applause everybody for Dave, who managed to stay on the back of the vehicle while I went from Tingana to that lion sighting at roughly the speed of light. About half the speed of light. Let's be realistic here. It was very fast. Okay. This is the only road on Juma that I have yet to drive at night. This is the first time I've driven the shortcut off Gallagher. It's a stupid name, I know. But it is what it is. And now, my plan is to go to Zoe's Road, which is where we were with Tingana when I said that there's a whole host of aardvark burrows in that particular area. And that's where we're going to head to. I'm determined. I cannot believe that of all the 5 days that we've been trundling about in the darkest of nights, we haven't yet encountered an aardvark. Hello, Zebby. Okay. As you know, we don't spotlight diurnal animals, and this zebra's not particularly comfortable, so we can switch to... no, never mind. I'm sure you're all, as our zebra disappears off anyway, I'm sure you're all dying to know what's happening at that buffalo kill. Let's head across to Brent and his adorable little cubs.
Well, they're still feeding, and it's quite disconcerting to sit here in the pitch black. And I can see my monitor, but if I look away from my monitor, all I can hear is crunching and growling. So I'm going to keep quiet for a bit and let you just listen. No, mine. Go find another spot to eat. Hi, Natalie. Natalie is wondering, if hyena came, would the cubs be safe if the lionesses had to protect the kill? Natalie, they generally protect the cubs before the kill. So it all depends. And so there are not too many hyenas around. And I don't think our clan is around, firstly, or possibly big enough to challenge all of these lions at the moment. So there's 4 adult lionesses around here. So the average, and there's 3 hyenas to 1 adult lioness before they become brave. Oh, little disagreement there. So you'd need at least 10 hyenas to really trouble these lions at the moment. But still a relatively civil dinner so far. As I said, they're so well fed at the moment. Not too much fighting. So sort of low constant. Mine, 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 mine. Trying to get a sneaky bite from above. So you can see that the behavior on the kill at night is pretty much the same as it would be what it would be during the day. Hi, Jean in North Carolina, and Jean would like to know, was this Xander's first lion kill? Xander, was this your first lion kill?
Yep.
Was it your first kill?
Yep.
There we go, it was indeed Xander's first lion kill, and I'm very happy to have experienced it with Mr. Eggsy. We're both smiling from ear to ear, although you can't see it in the dark. Well, you can with infrared, but I can't. Yes, and see, they're so well fed. They're more playing than eating, quite a few of them. Jumping up and down on the carcass. Chewing on the ear, which is not very tasty and not much meat there. But I suppose nice chew toy. Look at that. Spitting. Oh, we can hear some bushveld rain frogs calling now. That wah. There, that noise there. One of my favorite frog species. They look like grumpy old men. There are only 2 lionesses here. I think the other lionesses might have headed off to go have a drink of water at Buffalo's Hook. Oh, that is a severely flat cat. Hard work for the night. It's done. Hi, TJ. Now, TJ wonders, you're going to get a smack, little one. What is the order of feeding? Cubs first, then lionesses. Lionesses first, males. Doesn't want to eat, wants to play. Well, TJ, it all depends on how hungry everyone is. This is quite calm and sedate because no one's particularly hungry. Now, normally adults will tolerate cubs, but they will try eat the most first because they need the most energy, specifically the mothers, because they're producing milk and they have to do the hunting. Now, if a male was here, a male would dominate the carcass. Sometimes males will tolerate cubs feeding with them, sometimes they won't. It all just depends on the individual and the mood he's in. So there's no set order. It all is depending on quite a lot of variance. But generally lionesses will tolerate cubs feeding and feeding around them and irritating them to a degree. Oh, what's going on closer to us? I can hear sounds. There we go. That's what I could hear. A cub talking. And obviously came to see the sleeping lioness. I could not see it. I just heard that. Oh, oh, oh. Now that phrase, spitting with anger, it has to come from cats. Nothing else can quite spit with anger like a cat. That Now, for those of you who might have stumbled upon us, we are live in the African bush. These lions have just killed this adult buffalo bull, and they've brought their cubs in to feed. Not only are we live, but we're also interactive. So I'm going to ask you guys, what should we do next? Should we stay with these little lions as they devour the big buffalo? Or should we test our luck? Oof. Bit more serious of an argument there. And see if we can find any other incredible nocturnal creatures to view. And let me know by using the hashtag SafariLIVE, or send an email to questions@wildearth.tv. And the temperature's dipping. I'm just putting my jacket on. Hi, Marion. Marion is in the Lone Star State, Texas. And Marion is wondering, why didn't they remove the stomach contents before starting to feed? Well, because they're not particularly fussy, Marion. So, I mean, earlier you would have seen they were actually eating the intestines with the stomach contents still in it. Just have a look to our right here, Zunda. The lioness is looking up. I think those other lionesses might be coming back from their drink. They're looking into this area here. Now, as I say, we're using infrared, so what I can see absolutely nothing, unless I look at my little monitor in front of me. Do you see anything, Xander? No. Oh, anyway, all we know is sometimes a lion might appear right next to us. But these lions have been so well fed during this drought. As you can see, they're not too perturbed about eating. And the cubs are more playing than feeding. Well, there's a couple that are getting really stuck in there. Ah, there, that's what they might have been looking at. There was something around in the bushes next to us. I think just judging from that behavior, and you can see she's not lactating, that's Auntie Amber. Oof. There we go, a bit more serious fight going on there now. Now, Sarah's wondering, why do the lions lick the buffalo skin? Now, Sarah, if a lion had to lick you, if it had to lick sort of 2 or 3 times in the same spot, it would actually take your skin off. It's like very coarse sandpaper. So they actually lick to soften the skin up a little bit before they start using their teeth to open it. So a lion lick, if done constantly in the same place, would actually remove human skin. And they're very, very rough tongues. Oh, we can hear that little one right next to us again. It's walked probably... There they are. No, they are no more than about 5 feet from us. The only place that's really open for the cubs to get in is at the rump, and there is another spot up on the back. But look at that one, he's fast asleep on top of the buffalo. Tired kitty. You can see those other two towards the front are just playing. That little one to the right, imagining it's caught this buffalo all by itself. No, let's annoy the sleeping one. Fine, I'll go sleep somewhere else. Oh, that's a trouble causer atop now. Full of beans. Or actually full of buffalo. I see that one's managed to get in through its nether regions there. That area was opened up by the lionesses earlier. Now, Laura is wondering, do I think they're letting the cubs eat first because nursing hurts? Not only because they've been eating well, so eating meat will lessen them nursing. Laura, I don't think so, especially not on a carcass of this size. I mean, there's enough meat to go around if they all wanted to eat. So I don't think so. I just think they're probably quite exhausted after the hunt, and that's not unusual, and they're just really well fed at the moment. It seems like when they go shopping for buffalo, they take them down at will at the moment with the drought. Oopsie. Well, one thing about sitting in the dark is you don't see when you're knocking things over. Now, Simpkin's wondering, how old are these cubs? They're various ages. I think the youngest now probably just over 3 months, and the oldest must be close on 5 months. And and Simpkin's also wondering, when are they weaned? They're probably completely weaned by about 6 months, when they lose their milk teeth and start developing their adult teeth. Or actually, sorry, not developing, but their adult teeth push through, and the milk teeth are all gone by about 6 months. Not to say they won't take a chance and try suckle after that, particularly if there's different ages of cubs. So some females will lactate, or they're lactating at different times. The older cubs will often try to take a chance, because lions practice allo suckling, so they don't only suckle their own offspring, but they'll suckle all members of the pride. Okay, we're going to sit here for a bit longer, see what happens. And I don't think too much more is going to happen at this buffalo carcass, apart from cubs playing who's the king of the buffalo. So let's jump all the way back over 1,900, over 2,000 kilometers to Kenya and see what James is up to.
And we now seem to be following the lions. They've got up and they're moving. I can't see them. Jandre, can you see them? Okay. Okay, more lions at 12 o'clock. They're on the move. Hoorah, hoorah. Maybe they were just being polite and running now. Jandre, just give me a number.
It's 11:30.
Straight ahead. She's jogging. I'll have to turn these off. We'll just turn those on. It's too bright, isn't it? Jandre, if you see anything in front of us, you'll let me know, will you? Otherwise we're going to go into a hole. Oh, you think they're going to the carcass? Well, let's see. They might be heading towards that zebra carcass, everybody. In which case, well, it's not quite a kill. Let's follow and find out. What a night we've had. Just by the way, we were sitting here, of course, in the car with these flat kitties, and we watched quite a lot of what you were watching. And how amazing was it that the ninkapumas are now their cubs. Oh gosh, we're back with the dead zebra here. It promised so much. Done? Which lioness this is and why she started running here. So we went off, everyone, to try and see if we could find whether those were buffalo or wildebeest. They turned out to be wildebeest. Then we turned round, and that's what we found. So if you have just joined us, this zebra died, we think, as a result of injuries inflicted by a crocodile during one of the crossings over the Mara River. We watched two lionesses eating it earlier. One of them then threw up violently, and then we drove off and we found two others, and they were shortly joined, we thought, by the two that were eating this zebra. Now suddenly they're back here. We don't know why she threw up. We don't know why nothing is eating this thing. We don't know why that whole group of 4 lionesses isn't eating the zebra. It's all rather strange. And apparently the wildies, as Graham is saying, are not too far off. We're at 4 o'clock, so you're looking at sort of 10 o'clock. They're about 180 degrees behind us. And we'll just keep the thermal imager looking the other way at the wildies, because if she's got up and she's from the same group of lions, which, I mean, I can't see why she wouldn't be. She's come from that direction. It's possible the others will get up and spot those wildebeest, as opposed to lie in the grass and do absolutely nothing. Now, this kind of situation, of course, where an animal dies of an injury inflicted either on it by crocodiles or perhaps by lions on a failed lion hunt. We know we've seen the Nkuhumas who've become rather expert buffalo hunters. We know we've seen them fail before on a buffalo and leave it sort of walking around injured. I think that happens here quite a lot. There's obviously so many animals here that they probably hurt each other when they do these great crossings across the river. And so a carcass like this, lying in the middle of a clearing, sort of unattended, is not actually that unusual. What is unusual is that it has remained, or that these lions found it and then left it again. And one of them seems to have come up. Graham, no bogies. I'm afraid my thermal imager is down.
I'm going to one more lioness is slowly walking.
So Graham reckons one lioness slowly making its way towards us.
You know me, I'm not one to guess.
No, quite. Graham says he's not one to guess, but that's not really true. Luckily he guesses right most of the time. Now I wonder if she hasn't smelt those wildies. That's where she looked off. The wind is in her favour, even though she's probably smelling the worst part of that zebra right now. So we shared a couple of theories, everyone, as to why the zebra was left uneaten. One of them was, of course, that it has become infected by the crocodile's foul, rotten meat, sort of in bespattered teeth. There's something else off to the left-hand side there, and maybe that made it sick. So you've not got IR? Thermal, sorry. Why are there no hyenas here? That's also very odd. There you can see something just off to the left-hand side, top left. The lioness has seen it. This could be quite interesting. Very interesting. And you can see the zebra, I would say, Graham, starting to cool there, wouldn't you?
Yeah, its fever must be dying.
Its fever's dying down, yes. I mean, interesting that it was as white hot on that picture as the lion was when we first found it. Now it seems to be cooling down as a result of being dead. Sally, you're in Oregon and wondering whether the zebra was still glowing. Well, certainly not with the flush of life and the views of the Mara, but it is glowing slightly with the residual temperature of its recently ended life. But there, that bogey. Oh, we've got a pixel, one pixel off to the left-hand side of the FLIR camera, and it's now static. Anyway, we've got some lion action finally. It's good news. Not quite the lion action we'd hoped for, but that's what happens here. Live wildlife television. And brilliant that we've had a live lion kill during the special week when we'd hoped to have just that. We've had 2 live lion kills this week. One from the Mara, one from, well, nighttime lion kills, one from the Sabi Sand. And all in all, I think it's been a rather good return. Well, Zoe, interesting one from you. You say, do I think that it's possible for the animals to tell how putrid or sort of diseased this carcass is simply from smelling it? Or do I think they need to probably taste it? I would have said they probably need to taste it. You know, they've got very sensitive noses, but they don't have anything like the number of taste buds we do, and they don't taste anything like the sort of complexity that we do, apparently. So I don't think the taste really bugs them. They probably get a sense of toxicity, though. I mean, in the same way that many animals get a sense of toxicity, at least many herbivores get a sense of toxicity from the vegetation that they eat, and they'll avoid poisonous plants. I'd love to ask this lioness why she couldn't have been bothered to go and catch a little wildebeest. That would have been delicious. Now, Brooklyn, age 10. Just in case, obviously you weren't with us a little bit earlier. Brooklyn, that thing is called a cecum. Now, a cecum is where all of the zebra's digesting happens. So it goes through most of the intestines, which are the tubes that come out of the stomach, and they go into that thing called a cecum. And in that cecum, Brooklyn, there are a whole lot of bacteria. Now, bacteria, I will ask you, is a kind of little, I suppose you could call it somewhere between an animal and a plant. It's very small. You won't be able to see it. It's the same kind of thing that, you know, if you get a sore, if you get a cut on your body and it starts to turn red all around there, it's the same kind of thing that gets into there. But there are good bacteria and there are bad bacteria, and the zebra's got much, much good bacteria inside the stomach there, and that bacteria helps the zebra to digest grass. And one of the reasons you can't eat grass, Brooklyn, and why you have to eat things other than grass, is that you don't have the same bacteria as the zebra has in its cecum. And so that's why it's all, that's what that big thing is there. And it's so full because you see it's filled with gas. And those bacteria make a lot of gas. And I know that you have probably seen zebra running on Safari Live if you've been watching for a long time. Certainly we often see the zebra running close up in the Sabi sand. And sometimes, well, we've seen them running a lot here. And you know what they do when they run, Brooklyn. They often do what my dad calls let fly, which means they fart, and that's because of all the gas there in the cecum. So that's what that is. And you've actually got a cecum, Brooklyn. It's just very, very small, and it's called your appendix. Your appendix is just at the end of your large intestine. Now this lioness has seen, smelt or heard something. Probably that small pixel that Graham spotted on the thermal imaging camera. It doesn't seem to be coming any closer. What direction is she looking, Graham? Sort of towards 7 o'clock. We can't see anything coming on the thermal camera. That little pixel seems. She's also listening, everyone. You could hear something being killed, Graham says. Where, Graham? Let's keep her on the flare there, Graham. We just can't move everyone, she's very close. Can you still see her, Graham? You want me to drive? I'm going to drive forward slightly. Something is being killed, possibly a buffalo. Let's move. I'm going to turn the lights on. That is really vile. Where do you think, Graham? What direction? Well, she's heard it, everyone. Don't sit down. Come on, go and find whatever it was. Okay, let's be quiet here for a second, everyone. We're going to give a hard listen. I can't hear anything, but we've got lots of ears on the car. So everyone's trying to listen. But again, you can see the lioness has left that zebra. Why? It's fresh food, you'd think. Can't hear anything at the moment, but she's definitely heard something. She's also, is she facing the wildebeest? No, she isn't quite. She's walking back towards where the other lionesses were. This is very interesting. Well, the only way to solve this mystery is going to be to follow her. So that, everyone, is what we shall do. 2 o'clock. 12 o'clock. Okay, I'm going to put a bit of light on, otherwise we're going to hit something. There we are. Still at 12. I can't hear. 2:30. Oh, she's right here. She's right next to us. Let's turn off here briefly. There she goes. She's now hunting the wildebeest, we think, everyone. We think we have a hunt on. Mr. Wallington is convinced of it. This is excellent. Let's see what happens. We're going to follow her just within the infrared range. And there we got onto the thermal camera. You can see where she's going. Those are the wildebeest in the distance. It's going to be a little bit bumpy. Seasick safaris, briefly. But there she is. She definitely seems to be moving around them, possibly using the wind. Gosh, this is fantastic. Grief, can you imagine SafariLIVE got 2 lion kills in one night? And have you seen her? We've lost the flare somehow. Okay, I'm going to go a little bit quicker. Right arm down. So, just to explain, the numbers that have been called out, I cannot see what's going on, everyone. I am driving blind in the same way that a helicopter pilot, I suppose, flies blind with instruments. My instruments are Gendre on infrared and Graham on thermal image. 1 o'clock, slightly right hand down. Let's quickly go back to Jamie. I think she's got something interesting.
We've just seen a large spotted genet, which is something I've been dying to get on camera. I know you saw one with Taylor not so long ago. I'm really hoping we can get this one back on camera in a moment. Unfortunately, it ran away just as you were being sent across to us. Hold on a moment. Let's see if we can't find it once again. Come on, Genet. Oh. Oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear. I don't think we're gonna get it. I'm gonna try. Come on, little Genet. They're one of my favorite animals. They look like a cross between a mongoose and a cat. That's the way I always think of them. Like a small, long cat. They are not, in fact, a cat. They belong to a totally separate family called the viverids. They're from the Viveridae family. Little predators casting about, looking for insects and small rodents, and looking for them away from our vehicle. Darn. Okay. Since our Genet has disappeared, let's go back across to James and his exciting evening in the Mara.
Look, everybody, look at this. The lioness, those little dots in the end there are the eyes of the wildebeest. She's walking straight towards them. I'm going to have to cut all light now completely with us. Gendre, we need to be in eye arm. I'm sorry, man. I'm going to move slightly forward. Try and zoom in a bit. Sorry, man. She's going to chase now.
It's too far.
Okay, I'm going to move a bit closer.
Oh, 12 there.
Still at 12. There she is. We've got her there. I've got her. She's walking straight towards them. They have no idea she's there. I can see absolutely nothing in front of me. It's completely black in front of me. Right hand down. This is unbelievable. Right hand down more. Okay, I'll try. What I don't want to do is spook the wildebeest. We're behind her by about, oh gosh, sorry, we drove onto a hump. Oh, damn it. You still with her, Graham? Right on down. Okay, I'm going to have to turn some light on. I can't see. Okay, light down. So everybody, we okay, she's running, she's running, she's running. Okay, you must tell me, guys.
Right hand down, right hand down.
Okay, don't shout. So exciting, everyone, this is so exciting. My heart is pounding. She's running. Where must I go?
She's flanking on the right.
She looks like she's flanking left. Hold on, everyone. Give me a number.
Right.
Give me a number.
12 o'clock.
Okay, we're going straight, everyone. Are you okay, Graham? So I nearly lost Graham off the back there. That would have been a small disaster. Well, a very large disaster, actually. Can't tell what's happening at the moment. I don't know if she's... We're going to keep going straight. She is on the left of the wildebeest. Okay, we're going to keep going straight. What's this? Going to keep going straight. I know you can't see anything, everyone, but we really don't want to spook the wildebeest or her. Now, she's closing the gap now. She seems to flank them from the left. I'm just watching a little bit of the thermal camera. She seemed so close to them when we saw them. And I don't know if they were spooked or if they ran a bit. But maybe we just fell behind when we hit that termite mound. Can't tell if she's running or not. Now she's running. She's running at them. I think she's running at them, everyone. I can just see the movement. I can see eyes in front of us. The lioness moving straight towards them. I'm going to have to kill the lights again. So now I'm driving completely blind. Can you see her, Jean-Ray? Okay, I got her now. She's running now. Oh my goodness, look at that. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. She's running. She's running. She's going. She's going.
Right hand down, right hand down.
She's running still. We can see her there, Graham. She's straight in front of us. There she is. She's missed. How did she miss? She was right on them.
They've scattered to the wind.
No,
There's another one.
there's another lioness there. Everyone, my heart is absolutely pounding, mainly because I nearly lost the CEO off the back of the car. There, she's running again. There's another one running from the side there, Graham. Stay right, stay right. Yeah, there we go. Oh no, we've lost the battery.
Oh, unfortunately, the Mara lions seem to need to take a lesson from the Inkahumas. As you can see, not much has changed here. All 4 lionesses are back. The other 2 are back from having a drink. And 2 of the adults are feeding. One's lying right next to us. There she is, and the other beyond. So I wonder where the youngest Inkahuma is. Is she off entertaining a Birmingham boy? And will they be here tomorrow? said, such little infighting due to the fact that they're so well fed. And that little bit of rain came too little, too late for a lot of the buffalo, or this buffalo in particular, and we get a chance to pick up his condition yet. This has been an absolutely incredible safari so far. Wow. Oh, is that mum going to get a little bit feisty? Cubs climbing on you, cubs putting their faces where you're feeding. Oh, and back to King of the Buffalo. Or maybe it's just a good spot to have a snooze if you're a little one. And that's definitely one of the mothers there. You can see from her tummy. Well, at least we know where to find the Nkahumas tomorrow. Now, I wonder if there's going to be Birmingham boys with them. Because if there was one within 10 kilometers, he definitely would have heard the distress calls of that buffalo. Oof, oof. Spitting mad. Hi, Zaki, who's 21 in Kenya. So Zaki's closer to James than to me. And Zaki is wondering, how do mother lions know that their cubs are safe if they're too far away to hear the distress call? Well, Zaki, they don't. They have to rely on the fact that they've left the cubs in a relatively thick, safe area. And the cubs have to rely on their instincts. So when the mothers are not there, they don't make a lot of noise, they don't move too much, they try to hide as much as possible. The cubs pushing the adults away from the feeding area. Not too upset. If she really wanted to, she'd swat them out of the way. Or give them a good lesson like that. That cub's about to get another disciplining. And look at the back, those two. Well, who needs meat when you got mom's milk? So even though there's a whole buffalo right there, they're suckling. Oh, those noises are just incredible. And they know those lionesses are going to tolerate them, so they definitely do push their luck. As they get older, the lionesses will become less tolerant of the cubs feeding that close to them, and the cubs will have to learn to fight for their spot at the kill, which they already do even when they're suckling. Now, Monique in London says, I know we're giggling about the little growls now, but could they ever become sort of quite serious and aggressive? Now, Monique, there's always a chance that a lion cub will get swatted by one of the bigger ones and injured. I mean, one must remember, not too far back, there was a little Nkahuma cub. One of these guys who could barely walk for a while, and that's almost certainly from being swatted either by a Birmingham boy or an adult lioness when they were misbehaving around a carcass. But at the moment, while it's a time of plenty, it's not such a problem. Oof! Big growl, spitting man. It's the best way to describe it. Now, from a very successful hunt with the Nkahumas, let's go back to that lioness in the Mara who wasn't quite as successful.
Good heavens, everybody, we have just had an experience the likes of which you cannot believe. I'm afraid we lost battery power suddenly as she chased, and then she missed. She went off to the right-hand side after one of them, didn't seem to even go at a full sprint, and then kind of, I guess she gave up as we lost battery. But it was tremendously, tremendously exciting. She got so close. I don't know how on earth she missed them. She could not have been more than 5 or 6 meters from them, maybe a bit more, maybe 20 meters from them. But she had a termite mound for cover. She was in complete and utter darkness. I must just reiterate that. I was driving utterly blind, couldn't see anything at all, and so the wildebeest had no idea she was coming, and she missed them. And the other two are just to the right-hand side of us. They're not within the infrared range. She's looking or smelling something else. But the others are quite far spread out from here now. So I don't know what they're doing. It's all rather bizarre. She's looking quite keenly at something. Graham, nothing else behind us, eh? To the left.
I think I can hear something roaring or something in the forest.
Lady Macbeth, you're wondering if one lioness can take out a wildebeest. Yes, absolutely, easily, and especially as in a big herd of wildebeest, you've got wildebeest of all ages. You've got little calves. She's calling now. That's a contact call, though. It's interesting. Ooh, what's going on now? The mysteries of the Mara lions continue. She's going past the left, is she, John?
Yeah. Well, she's dead 12.
So she's straight in front of us now.
She's coming back to the right. Very close.
Very close to the car. That's next to you, Tyler.
No, that's you, James.
No, is that me? That's where on earth this lion is. That's me there. Hello, everybody.
1 meter away from you, guys.
She's 1 meter away from us now. Distance increasing. That's the thermal camera you can see. She's walking towards the other lions. Happy to move, Graham?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're all coming together now. I can put on a little bit of light because they're not in a complete hunt yet. Gee whiz, that was just incredible. So Lady Macbeth, yes, the lioness can absolutely take out a wildebeest, probably an adult cow. We watched a lioness take out, well, an almost adult cow yesterday. Sorry, I need a number, guys. Say when? Ah, there they are in front of us. You just see them now. The edge of the infrared. And one on the right of us as well. Well, they're all moving now. One at 2 o'clock. Okay, I'm going to go towards 11:30. Let's leave the one at 2 for now. She'll presumably join the others. Yeah, they're up and they're moving together now. Alright, while we follow these lions into the night, let's head across to Jamie. She's got another Genet.
There we go, finally. We managed to get our little Genet on camera. There it goes. Tuk, 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 tuk. Oh, wonderful. Where'd you go? Let's try and stay with it. As you can see, it is right next to Inge's house, which is where we live. How fantastic is that? The bright lights of James's vehicle reflecting beautifully in our spotlight. Let's see if we can't get it on the other side of this whoopsie termite mound. I might just go fall into bed. Just park the car and off we go. Where did you go? Okay, let's try this. Hopefully it hasn't crossed already. We should be able to get a really, really nice view of it. Hopefully it's nice and relaxed. Seems to be. Come on, little Genet. Go slowly. I've seen this Genet here before on my way home a couple of times, and it's always been relaxed. Where did you go? This is where it was. I'm sorry, let me just check that side as well. How did it do that? Pulled a disappearing act on us. Did it go up a tree? They can climb trees. Huh. Oh well, at least we managed to get that one on camera, Dave. Absolutely. Let me just check the other side quickly. It's vanished. Well, in that case, we're going to race to Gallagher Pan. We've just heard a report that there's a leopard calling there. I'm sure it's Tingana. That's the direction he was heading in. Okie dokie. Little Genet, sorry everybody. Don't know how it managed to disappear that quickly. It might have gone down a hole. Okay. Alright, I'm going to race to Gallagher Pan. In the meantime, let's head back over to the Mara.
So the lions are now moving towards a woodland area where they seem to have heard something roaring or something calling. They had a full roar, which as far as our hunting goes is not a particularly positive sign, but goodness, these mysteries that we're unraveling here, hopefully even further to be sorted. What is just difficult to tell exactly what's on the thermal camera. They're walking right towards a woodland that is below the Ulololo escarpment. Ulololo, can't say that word. There were rumors of cubs in this area. Let's see. Now, quite unlike the woodlands of Djuma, we will not be able to drive down into this woodland because it is, well, it's basically it's a sort of forest. It's a patch of forest. We're keeping scanning with the thermal. She seems to have found something, yeah. You just move on the side. She's moving again. Something coming out of the forest. No, nothing coming out of the forest. Right, there was one of them going basically into the forest in front of us. This one following. Not sure where the other two are. Graham, any idea? Other two in front of this lot. This might be the end of our lion tonight. Need to be very careful going in here. Hold on tight, everyone. Gosh, what a night it's been. Quite something if Jamie could top it off with another leopard. They're calling again. They're calling. I'm gonna keep going, everyone. I would normally turn off, but I don't want to lose them. Okay, I'm just gonna give you a quick listen. Something has spooked them, attracted them, caused them to come and think that there's some threat to their territory down here. Could be the males, I don't know. We've gone into some very thick stuff here. I'm going to turn the lights on, otherwise we're going to get ourselves into trouble. Yeah, they're having a bit of a play now. Where's that one, John Ree? Sorry. 12 o'clock. Keep going. That, everybody, is a rather substantial canyon in front of us, over which we will not cross. What a night. One really does wonder what on earth they heard here. Marking territory, so something has alerted them. They heard something calling down here. They've come to mark their territory, that's why they were shouting, geeing each other up with their play behavior. Look at the heat coming off that bush that she marked. That's so cool. Just have a quick look there, Jean-Andre. See, just behind her, that's the bush she just marked. Look at the heat on that. It's no wonder that zebra stayed warm for so long. There, what's that at the far end of the screen? Wonder what that is. Could be a... Doesn't look like a hyena to me. Might be. Goodness, I wonder what that is. Top of the screen, everyone. Whatever it is running now, and they've stopped. And still, in the bottom of your screen, that bush that she marked, you can still see it there, just moving on the top right. It seems to have disappeared now. I think, well, it looks like they're looking towards whatever that was. Are the lions at, where are they, at 11 o'clock?
11, yeah.
I'm just going to swing the car slightly, Graham. I won't go forward, fear not. You see them at all? There they go. They're going off to the left-hand side. Jean, hello, you're in North Carolina. You say, which pride is this that we're watching? Jean, this, we think, is what is termed the Out of Africa pride. Seems to be 4 lionesses, might include 2 cubs. It's all rather confusing. Now, we started off this, this kind of 5-day lion hunt with the Kitretembo pride, 4 lionesses, we think maybe another one, not sure, and 2 young males. And then there are 3 males that we've been watching. Morani, a famous member of the 4 Musketeers who was around this area with Scarface, and 2 usurping blonde males. They've also been around here, and then this lot here. A couple of nomads we've seen, and we've even seen the great Scarface himself. But this lot, we think, are what is known as the Out of Africa pride. It's rather fascinating. They've gone to sleep there on a ridge down through the dip. Yeah, and they're continuing to move down there. Something attracted them, everyone. They were on the hunt briefly, then they were sleeping, then suddenly they were up and calling and coming through here. Maybe they've got cubs here. Maybe they heard another lioness calling, or maybe a male lion calling the other side of this woodland. It seems to be a natural boundary between them and possibly the territory off to the south. We're facing pretty much due south now. But who knows? Well, it's a great honor to be learning all of this stuff from one of the most beautiful places I've ever experienced. I hope you've enjoyed it with us. I'm sure you have, especially as it has been trumped tonight, I suppose, by the Nkahumas and their cubs and their big buffalo meal. Mm-hmm. Hello, Rain. You say you're 16 years old, and you say the lions in the Mara seem to be different in their behavior, in that they just seem to frolic around a lot. They don't seem to be they kill their animals and then they don't eat them. Rain, I think it's very much not a function of the fact that they behave differently here. If you were to drop the Nkahumas here, I think they'd behave in very much the same way. I think it's just the fact that we're in the migration season. There's a lot in the way of prey around here at the moment. It's almost like a sort of 3-month festival that they have. and everything's excited. There are wildebeest and zebra and Thompson's gazelles leaping across the river every day. They're coming into the clearings at night. Some of them are just dying of natural causes. It's like a real bonanza, smorgasbord of things for these lions to eat. And I think that's why they're behaving very differently. Toss in the pride male takeover, those two blonde usurpers coming in, kicking out Scarface, making friends with his brother Morani. Well, I just think it's got all the makings of a great, great story here in the Mara Triangle. And that's what's going on. I don't think biologically these lions are behaviorally different from the ones down south that have just fascinated us all by killing that buffalo and then bringing their precious little cubbies to have a meal with them. I believe one of them was sleeping on his food. Terrible habit, that. Yeah, nothing on the thermal there in the trees. You know, if a leopard had called here, there has been a leopard calling here tonight, I don't think these lions would have reacted. I think it's another lion that's come up from the other side and possibly called once. And these guys thought, no, that's not going to fly. Phew. Chandra, you've got no sight of them, hey, outside of the infrared, at least the thermal. All this technology is so deeply confusing. In the background we can hear some hyenas calling. All right, well, I think we're going to have to turn around. Graham, did you see all four go in here?
No, I've only seen three.
Yeah, we've only seen the three. Anyway, we'll go and see if we can't find the other one and maybe do a brief turnaround, see what else there is, and we'll catch up with you once you've said goodnight to Brent Leo Smith, who I'm sure was beside himself with excitement at the Nkahuma kill today.
Wow, what an evening. The incredible Nkahumas doing what they do best, catching buffalo. Now, that was absolutely fantastic. What a welcome back for me. First drive back, Lion Kill Live. Now, I started today's drive with a little music quote. I think I'll end with it as well a little bit later. So, oh, where'd it go? Look at it, look at him go, let him go. Almost no tail. It's a little bushveld gerbil. See how short his tail is? I actually don't think that's a bushveld gerbil. They've got longer tails. I actually don't know what little mouse species that is. Or maybe he's just lost some of his tail. He's not keeping still for us to look. No, I think he's lost it. It is a bushveld gerbil. I just think he's lost half his tail. Maybe he had a lucky escape from an owl. That's not cool. I love those little things. We don't get them here in the Sabi Sands, but when I grew up in Botswana, probably the cutest little mouse you've ever seen in your life. And it's got the best name as well. Its name is a tiny fat mouse. And they're about this big, and they're really little chubby guys. That was so cool. Now, I was actually hoping to find an owl in this area, but instead we saw what an owl has for dinner. Now, it is going to be fascinating to see tomorrow whether the 5th lioness arrives with a Birmingham boy in tow, or maybe just a Birmingham boy arrives. And, of course, unfortunately, we can't stay out after 10:30 in the Sabi Sands. That is the curfew. Now, the curfew is there to make sure there's not too many people driving out and doing naughty things after dark, of course. But what an incredible way to come back in lions. I love those Nkahumas. Eggsy's first kill. So Eggsy's also smiling from ear to ear. So, and I started the drive with that little quote from the late, great Lou Reed. To take a walk on the wild side, and we certainly did. And so, good night, and we'll see you tomorrow for the sunset safari. Let's go see Jamie so she can also bid you adieu.
What an incredible afternoon and evening it has been, and I hope you've all enjoyed it at home. I've come racing down, believe it or not, to the back of the DRC, which is the camp that we live in. Because I went to Galagopan, I heard the leopard sawing, and he's between us and the Galagopan, in the most impenetrable thicket imaginable. So I was just hoping that perhaps he might decide and come and decide to come and pay us a visit at some point this evening. Unfortunately, he hasn't popped out. Now I can hear him sawing still in the distance, just between us and a Galago shortcut. So on that note, it ends a fantastic sunset safari. So a big thank you to Dave for his fantastic camera work, as always, as well as to the entire SafariLIVE I'm tired. SafariLIVE team for their incredible work and a lot of stuff that goes on behind the scenes. And most importantly, an enormous thank you to all of you for joining us and sticking with us and enjoying our experimentation. Thank you and have a wonderful day wherever you happen to be. I'll see you tomorrow for the Sunset Safari. Bye-bye, everybody.
3, 2, 1. Right, everybody, what a day it's been. We're just going to go down the road here, down Graham's favourite slippy, slidey road, onto the main road and just check, because we've found one more bogey to have a look at. And given that this is our very last night here in the Mara for this particular sojourn in East Africa, let's just go and have a quick look at what it is. Not too quick, because if we go too quick on this road, this Land Rover will lie on its side like one of those lions. What a wonderful, wonderful experience it's been here. I'll just tell you my impressions as we go down the road here. We'll be about 5 minutes, I think, and then we'll say goodnight to you. Wow, to be in a place like this with the endless landscapes, colours that you just can't believe and pop out, that no photograph will ever do any justice to, vistas that likewise no photographs will do any justice to. 3 o'clock bogey, sorry everybody, I'll try and be poetic a little bit later once we've stopped talking about bogeys. Do you want to go off the road here quick? Let's go have a look, see what the bogey is. Try not to get stuck again. It'll be a great injustice for me to get stuck again at this late juncture. There's quite a lot of water down here. Anyway, as we move towards whatever this thing is, just the diversity of life and the sheer abundance of it has been overwhelming. And I've got to tell you, once or twice I've been left fairly watery-eyed by the things we've seen here. There's been terror, tragedy, triumph, little Thompson's gazelles being smashed by crocodiles and other tiny little ones making it across the river. The endless cycle of the migration, the wildebeest and the zebra going to and fro across the river. Well, that looks like an eland to me. What is that? I think it's a bokkie. It looks like an antelope, everyone. And we'll just keep going. For now, get one last look at it. Any ideas, anyone? 2 o'clock? It is the reedbuck. We're going to leave the reedbuck alone. And you're all asking me what my favourite moment was. Well, you know, you're also saying thank you for the experience. I think my favourite moments, everyone, have been sharing it with you, learning with you about this amazing place and seeing things that I'd only ever seen on TV before and didn't really believe that they existed in reality, to be honest. And that I think the crossings probably my highlights. But as I said to somebody yesterday, they asked me what were the most amazing things that I saw, and for me, I think it's been the sheer space. Endless vistas, different every direction you look, a plethora of life in every direction, and that whole general kind of thing has been the highlight. Of course, the Thompson's gazelle crossing yesterday was probably my highlight. With again, the tragedy of it and the triumph of the little one that got out, made it out, found the rest of the herd, and went off happily unfortunately it's going to have to cross that river again at some stage during its life. Alright, let's pack it in, everyone. I think we're into what might be described as the law of diminishing returns. We'll just quickly look down onto the road there. Can you see anything in front of us, Graham? No bogies.
I think there's a little sun.
A very small bogey. It's probably a sleeping, rattling testicular. We'll probably leave that one alone for the evening. Alright, everyone. That's going to be it from us. Thank you so much for joining us. Sorry, I've just unplugged my phone. I can't hear anything going on in the final control. Rebecca, you're going to have to give me more than 30 seconds to get through all I have to say. Because, you know, I don't talk very much. Right, I'm going to firstly say a big thank you to Jean-Andre for his astounding professionalism. You have no idea the work that this fellow does over here. He really does work very hard. A huge thank you to William the Ascari in the back and his, biblically named colleagues who helped us out during the last 4 nights. A massive thank you to Angama Mara for putting up with us. We've got Tyler with us today. He's down in the cockpit here. He's been extremely patient. He's about the same size as Jean-Andre and Graham, so he's been stuffed into this tiny little cockpit, which was built for somebody my size, and a big thanks to him and his incredible team. If you ever come to this part of the world, that is where you have to stay, because you will be overwhelmed by it. Mostly a huge thank you to all of you, of course. A huge... Shut up, Rebecca, let me speak. This is an emotional time. I'm going to pull you out if you're not careful. And... Big thanks to the Final Control for their efforts, of course, and to the other guides at the Juma. They will also have experiences like this one day. But mostly to all of you for coming along the ride, because without you, of course, coming to these absolutely spectacular places would be utterly impossible. So thank you for coming with us, and we hope to bring you back here sometime soon. Until then, Rebecca, you may now cue the credits. I think she has cued them. Cue them now. Okay, we now have 30 seconds for me to waffle slightly further. So I will say to you again, a big thank you for coming with us, and I hope that you will come back with us at some other stage. Who knows when that will be, but it's been a great pleasure, and we'll see you later. Bye-bye.